Shalom, Kal Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachak Wadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders at Great Millstone that rule well. Much peace and blessings to all you sense of Akim out there that's pushing this 100% truth with all sincerity, faith, and with charity. This is your brother Ash from the Great Millstone Miami Camp, coming back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And in this lesson, Lord willing, is edifying to the elect. This lesson is going to be inspired by two quotes. Alright, two quotes. One quote is from the book of Psalms, the 149th chapter, and the 9th verse. This honor have all his saints. This honor have all his saints. Okay. And the second quote is a quote from the world. A quote amongst Jake, our people, really amongst the southern kingdom, mainly Judah, the house of Judah, which is the head tribe, you so-called Negroes. And that quote is, I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and die. I ain't got to do nothing but stay black and die. Okay? And the inspiration, what moved me to do this lesson was I thought of the first quote from the book of Psalms, 149th chapter. In the 9th verse, this honor have all his saints. Because I was listening to something, listening to a live stream from the Coach Greg Adams. All right, if any brother watches Coach Greg Adams, he's like a manosphere guy, okay, but he brings out a lot of truth. And he was speaking about what's getting ready to go down with this agenda from the elites, okay? And I was thinking about, just a personal testimony. When I was in elementary school, when I first learned about the so-called elites, the so-called Illuminati, when I first started hearing about celebrities and entertainers selling their soul, and the Illuminati, and people that worship the devil, that worship Satan, that rule the world. Okay, I first heard about that. I believe I was watching YouTube or something. Kids at school, stuff we talk about. Okay, and well, I had already known about them in elementary school, but this was in middle school, and me and a friend of mine, we used to always talk about different conspiracies and whatnot, talk about Illuminati, and I told him, I said, let's make a pact. Let's make a pact that once we grow up, that we would do something about them, like stop them, like physically stop them. And when you're young, especially as a Jake, a lot of times, Jake, you feel powerful deep down inside, as a man. But this world, they want to try to snuff that fire out of you early, emasculate you early. And that's just that spirit of Jake, young Jake, And my friend probably thought I was joking, but I was dead serious. Like, I really believed that we could physically do something. And as I got older and I really started to learn more about the world, mind you, this was in middle school. I believe I was maybe in 6th or 7th grade. Okay. This had to be like, what? Maybe 2000 and maybe 2010. Okay, maybe, yeah, 2009, 2010, 2009. But as I got older, once I got into high school, started learning more about the world, I started to lose hope. Like, there's nothing you could do in this world to stop these devils. Like, I started to face reality. You know, when you're young, you don't really deal with reality. But as you get older, you're forced to deal with reality. And I came to the conclusion that there was nothing you could do to physically stop these people. You know? But not too long after that, I came across the truth. I came into the truth through the spirit power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And then I found out that it was actually something that you can do against these devils. That there was actually, as it says in Proverbs 29:2, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. Right? So I was mourning before I came into the truth, knowing that there's wicked that rules the world and there's nothing you could do to stop them. But once I came into the truth, I realized that the Most High is going to stop them. And Lord willing, we're his elect. He called us for us to prophesy against these devils. Okay? As a matter of fact, let me, before I get my opening precept, let me get this. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 6. Or is it 96 and verse 4? Maybe I'm tripping. Hold on. 94:16, is it? There you go. 94:16. Who will rise up for me against the evildoers, or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? All right. So the Lord is looking for individuals, men, chiefly of his nation, men of his nation, right? To rise up for him against the evildoers. Who are the evildoers? The so-called elite. And we know it's nothing physically we can do against them, but the Lord gave us this word, and he gave us this voice to prophesy against them, to speak their end into existence. Okay? And Lord willing, we're of the elect. The Lord is going to give us the power, the spiritual power to physically do something about it, to stop them. Okay? And it sounds crazy to the natural man. If you're not of the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you're not going to believe what we're saying. It's not going to make sense to you. But it's not supposed to. This is for the spiritual man. This is for the men that the Lord has tapped into their pineal gland, okay, their third eye, their spiritual eye, and allow them to see this vision, to have this vision. Okay, so right now we're speaking against these devils. We're prophesying against them. We're reading out their judgment, and the Lord is going to give us the power to stop them. Lord willing, we have the elect. All right, and we are his saints. It's going to be an honor for us to, put them down. So let's get the scripture. Okay. It's the Psalms chapter 94 and 5. I mean, Salakia, not 94. Psalms 149 and 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. The saints are so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Starting with the elect. The saints are the Israelites. So the Lord said we're going to be joyful in glory. Right? Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. So this is twofold. Okay, because right now we're speaking the praises of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, bringing out his truth, bringing out his gospel, bringing out the declaration of what the Lord is about to do on the earth. And we have a two-edged sword in our hand, which is the Bible. But very soon, and we're reading what's another name for the Bible is the book of the law. You have the first 5 books of Moses, right? Where you find that we are also known as what Amalek calls the Torah, but in the Lashon Kodash, the Thawara. Okay, which means the law or law. So we're reading the book of the law, which Yahweh Shai he called it the book of Psalms the law, right? When he was speaking to the wicked scribes and Pharisees, and he said, "Is it not written in the law that ye are gods?" That's written in the book of Psalms, the 82nd chapter. So we're reading the book of the law. The whole Bible is the law. His word is law. We're reading out the law of the Most High, and we're reading out the judgments of the Most High, what the Lord is about to do. We're reading the judgment. And Lord willing, we of the elect, we of those spirits destined to receive salvation. The Lord is going to give us the power to execute those judgments. You know, a lot of times you have people, they'll say, "You can't judge me," especially when you bringing out this truth and we're on the highways or we're in teaching mode, and you know Jake gets defensive and starts rebelling and say you can't judge them. And in all actuality, we're really not judging nobody, because we don't have power to judge. We make our own judgments in our life, which really is we're making our own judgments. We can't judge anybody because we don't have authority in the earth. The only authority we have is to bring out the word. We're reading the judgments, but in the in the near future, Lord willing, we're of those men. The Lord is going to give us power to actually execute the judgments that's written, which we're going to get into. Okay, verse 7: to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. So it's going to be payback, all right, retribution upon the heathen. Who are the heathen? Every nation outside of the nation of Israel, which are the enemies of the nation of Israel. They all had part in our downfall, in our captivity, whether it be the one we're in now or one we've been in prior. As is written in what's that? Daniel. I want to say Daniel. No. I believe in Maccabees. I believe 2nd Maccabees or 1st Maccabees. I'm not sure. What nation have not part in her spoils? So all the nations, they had a hand in our destruction. So the Lord's going to give us power to give them that righteous payback. And that starts with the nation of Esau, Edom, which are the nation of people that have the current rulership over the planet Earth right now. Those are your so-called Illuminati chief families, those chief banking families, those different bloodlines, which they all go back to Esau, Edom, because the Lord promised Esau this kingdom, which would be the last kingdom to rule before the rulership of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai and the nation of Israel, starting with the elect, the 144,000, which is the next kingdom to rule, which is going to be an everlasting kingdom. The Lord said that the nation to rule last, right before that kingdom, would be the nation of Esau, Edom, which is who is in power right now. Verse 8: to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. You see that? So, Lord willing, we are of the elect. We're going to bind the kings of the earth right now. Those that have all the power, the world's riches, you know, people like the queen and her family members, because she's on a lower level. There's people higher than her, but they're related though. The Rothschilds, these different families, They're all related because first and foremost, they all of the same nation anyway. And they're Amalekites. All right. It just I was looking at something. I don't know how true it is, but it's coming out that guy Klaus Schwab, his mom was a Rothschild. So they're all related, man. But the Lord said we're going to bind them with chains and fetters of iron. We're going to put chains around their neck and their feet. Meaning what? They're going to go into captivity. They're going to go into slavery just like we did. They funded the slave trade. They financed it. They profited off of it. And it's coming out what the so-called British monarchy had to do with the transatlantic slave trade. And because it was transatlantic, it was triangle. It wasn't just from Africa to America. It was America, Europe, and Africa. All right. But the Lord said they're going into slavery by our hands. So the Lord is going to give us the power to put them down, man. The current rulers of the earth right now, you're going to literally have your foot over their neck. Verse 9, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor hath all his saints. Praise ye the Lord. Okay, and that's the key point. To execute upon them the judgment written. So the judgment is written, but the Lord is going to give us power to execute the judgment. Right now, we're just reading out the judgments. So are we really judging them? No, not really. But very soon, the Lord is going to give us power to judge them. To actually execute the judgment written. And that's an honor. That's an honor to have that honor. A 2/3 wicked Jake ain't going to be given that honor to do that. You got a lot of Jakes out there talking they shit against the queen, and rightfully so, because she was a wicked demon. But they're going to go into destruction right along with those people, because they haven't turned back to their power. And ultimately, they're still saints, so they still gonna get their payback too in the kingdom. They're gonna execute the judgment written eventually as well. But the elect, starting with the 144,000, are gonna get that. The first dibs on those slaves, so to speak. They're gonna be the ones that actually They're gonna actually see this whole thing play out. They're going to be the ones the Lord is going to use firsthand to do it. And we want to be a part of that. We have a shot at being a good shot at being a part of that. If we do this to the end, which leads to my second quote. Okay. Like Jake says in the world, all I have to do is stay black and die. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to stay black and they're going to die. Because the Most High is not dealing with black people. All right, that word black actually is symbolic with death. But on the right hand side, all we have to do is remain Israelites, the Israel of the Most High, and we're going to live. Okay? This is Psalms chapter 118. This is Psalms 118 and 17. Psalms 118 and 17. I shall not die, but live and declare the works of Yahweh. All right, so we have to have this same mindset that we shall not die, but live. right? This is King David, right? I believe this is Psalm 118 is a Psalm of David. He had the mentality that he was not going to die, but that he was going to live. Our people, they like to say, all I got to do is stay black and die. And a lot of times they use that quote, you know, when you say, oh, that they have to do something, or you need to do this, or you should do that. They say, well, I don't have to do nothing but stay black and die. That's a very small mindset to have. That's a very persona non grata, okay, type of way of thinking. And that's how a lot of these people in the earth think. Because you tell them that there's a so-called, you know, you try to tell them about the elites or the Illuminati, or you know, the shadow government and the different plans that they have, and they don't care. And really is because they really don't care. Their mind is only so big. You know, that's too big for them. They just want to stay in their safety spot. And that's because they're sheep. That's all. The Lord hasn't given them the honor to actually care about those type of things. He hasn't even called them into this truth first and foremost, to actually know what's going on in the earth. They're just dead, and they're going to remain dead. But all we got to do is stay Israelites in the spirit, and the Lord is going to give us this glory and this honor. Okay? I'll close out with this one. This is Revelation chapter 2. You know, I was gonna do a lesson based off the first quote, but you know, this second quote came into my mind, and it's basically going along the same line. So this is Revelation 2:25. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. You see that? Hold, and that word fast, that's Old English for firm or tightly. Right? And what is that we're holding firm and tightly? This truth, this faith, this hope that we have, this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And we're holding it tight till the Lord come. We're enduring. All we got to do is stay Israelites of the Most High, and we're going to live. All right. And one quick precept to back that up is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. So what we're doing right now is not going to be forgotten if we endure to the end. So hold fast, hold this tight. Don't lose your faith. Keep believing. That's what we're holding fast, right? Revelation 2:25 again. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And this is the key point right here. 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end. Right? All we got to do is stay Israelites to the end, right? To him will I give power over the nations. To him will I give power over the nations. Meaning you're going to receive power to rule over the world. Whatever portion or measure that Yahushua gives you for enduring to the end and manifesting that you were of that number the whole time. The portion he's going to give you to rule over, like the parable he spoke of the nobleman when he came back after receiving his kingdom. He he gave the parable of the talents, I should say. The one that gained 5 talents, he said, here, have authority over 10 cities. Or the one that gained 10 talents, he said, rule over 10 cities. The one that gained 5, he said, rule over 5 cities. And the cities could be countries, planets. Who knows? You're not going to be disappointed, though. All right? And he that overcometh and keepeth my works to the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And to have power over the nations, you got to have power over the current nation's rulers. You got these current ones in power right now, they have to be taken out. Most of the regular people are going to be put down, they're going to be destroyed. But the elite, they're going to escape the judgment. They're going to be in their bunkers hiding. They're going to be in space stations, up in the upper atmosphere. And the elect are going to go in, bust through whatever type of defense they got. And they're going to slap them chains right on. And they're going right into captivity. All right. Verse 27, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, meaning a very stern rulership, a very strong hand, ruling with an iron fist, meaning no mercy. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, meaning you're going to break them down. They're going to get broken down, all the way down. They're going to get brought low from being worth hundreds of trillions of dollars to being a slave, owning nothing. And they will not be happy, okay? Even as I received of my Father. And this is Yahushua speaking. So, when he returns to receive his kingdom, those that have been patiently waiting for him and doing what he said to do, which is preach the word and prophesy against these devils, all right, help seal the elect. If they endure with that faith, the faith that's giving them the motivation and the discipline, the inspiration to do this work all the way to the end, then they're going to receive that power. They're going to receive that authority. And Lord willing, that's us, man. Okay? This honor have all his saints. So, it's just something I wanted to speak on through the Spirit. Lord willing, was edifying as well as exhorting. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and others, a great millstone that rule well, and much peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.